Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Back for Hedman. The center ice and Kucherov up the right wing. Across the blue line, pops to Stamkos left circle. Stamkos, shoot, save made by Shesterkin. Rebound to Chernak right point. Left point Hedman. Across ice feed. Palat! Palat!
Wow,
Ondrej Palat! Off a touch pass from Kucherov! 3-2 Lightning with 41.6 seconds left in the third.
As loud as I've ever heard Amalie Arena. The call there from Dave Mishkin and Phil Esposito on the Lightning Radio Network. As Ondrej Palat with 41 seconds left tallies the game winner as the Lightning come back from near extinction, down 2-0 in the series, down 2-0 on the ice in game 3. But the find-a-ways find a way, and the Lightning are back in this series 2-1. Game 4 coming up tomorrow night at Amalie Arena. Lightning fans, let's keep our tickets this time. Welcome into the JP Peterson Show. Nick Geddes from Outkick.com joining me here this morning on this glorious Monday morning after what was, frankly, one of the most exciting comebacks ever in Lightning history. And I know you were sitting up in the catbird seat there working for Sports USA Radio yesterday, and I was doing my gig for the Lightning. And you know, it was as dramatic a game as I can remember, especially in the third period. You could cut the tension with a chainsaw. I mean, you'd need a chainsaw to cut the tension. It was so thick in there. It was an amazing afternoon.
Yeah, it was a good morning to you. A special afternoon, a Sunday afternoon matinee yesterday at Amalie Arena. And that third period, I tell you what, being in the broadcast booth and being an impartial member of the media yesterday.
You couldn't cheer.
I was stone-faced the entire time. And inside I'm like, bum, bum, bum. Like, after they had goosebumps, and I'm like, get those off my arm right now. Get those off my arm.
Yeah,
but
for those of you
experience.
who do not like Palat's goal song, maybe you like it now.
I think that's the way to go. No matter who scores, if it's a game winner, I think we could just go Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
It gets the people going.
You know, it has such a Boston flavor to it. We get it. But you know what? It does get the people going. And if you just look at it in terms of trolling the Bruins, then maybe it's good. But whatever. What a win for the Lightning, and what a testament to the character of this team. The time and time again, they are counted out, and they come back and win these games. We're going to go through each and every goal, break down everything for you, talk about all the high points and the low points of the game. It is a historic game. It's one of the greatest home wins in Lightning history. When you're down in that situation and you're able to come back, it's amazing. Brian Bradley will join us at 11 o'clock. We'll get his take. We'll talk about the Rays' weekend loss to their series. There's some Tom Brady news that I'm not really sure how to talk about. The Rays had a very interesting weekend on and off the field. We'll get into a little bit of the politics that are now gripping our baseball team as well. Some of which is just part of today's society. Some of which I think the Rays are very much bringing on themselves and putting themselves out there. So we'll talk about the pluses and minuses of that, how the fans view it. Got a few emails concerning all of those things. So we'll get to that as well, but it's all about the Lightning here in the first segment of the show. And one thing you and I were talking about, there are perceptions when you watch these games, and I think, of course, when you listen to the national media, that the Rangers have dominated this series, and it's simply not true. It's simply not true. There's a couple of things that are really, I think, changing the way people look at this series in somewhat obscuring what's going on, because when you look at the analytics of this series, the Lightning have had more high danger chances than the Rangers have. And what's really, I think, skewing everything is the play of Igor Shesterkin. He has been unbelievable. And this is why we talked about this last week when we were just, who should we play, Carolina, excuse me, or the Rangers. I'm like, I think I'd rather play Carolina because Shesterkin is the equalizer. He's that good. And he is thwarted. I mean, it took the Lightning 51 shots to get 3 goals yesterday. And you talk about high danger chances. If you look at the graph, I think, did you retweet that on the show page? We will retweet it on the show page, where it shows the high danger chances. The Lightning have had way more than the Rangers yesterday. They had more in game 1. I think in game 2 they did as well. But it's, Shesterkin who's stopping the Lightning at every turn. Some of these games, the Lightning could have scored 3, 4, 5, 6 goals, but Shesterkin, frankly, has been better than Vasilevsky in the 2 games in New York. Heard something interesting yesterday, by the way, among the press. I didn't know if you've heard this as well. It's not something that Vasilevsky will say in public, but and I'm not throwing this out as an excuse. I'm just telling you what I heard, is that the lighting in Madison Square Garden was not to his liking. Sun got in his eyes. But he just does not feel comfortable there for whatever reason. And he looks uncomfortable there. You just watch him play. It's like, he does not look comfortable in those first 2 games. So for whatever it's worth, he was a little better yesterday. Don't you think? He was freaking locked in. Tremendous.
Well, look at the first 20 minutes of play in that game. I mean, both goaltenders, 15 shots for the Lightning in the first, 12 for the Rangers.
27 total in the first.
And some high-quality scoring chances.
Yes, yeah.
And that
there's
game,
no score.
Yeah, that game could have been like 3-3 each aside in that first period. But both Vasilevsky and Shesterkin were just on another level. You recall the Kucherov breakaway where he just straight up stoned him. I mean, that didn't have a chance, honestly. He just cut off the angle.
It looked like a bad shot by Kucherov. It's like you said, Shesterkin comes out so fast and so aggressively. There's nowhere to shoot. I think it's taken Kucherov by a little bit of surprise. And I think the next time that happens, I think you'll see Kucherov fake a shot, deke, and try to go around him because he's so far out of the net.
Yeah,
if you get around him, it's wide open.
Yeah, and so many chances the Lightning had inside. They just could not score inside. I mean, they peppered 40 even-strength shots on this guy. 40. And they only could get 1 to go in, and it just became off the apps. And even that one squeaked in off of Shesterkin. From the angle.
Yeah.
So we get it. He is maybe the world's best goalie at this moment in time right now. And he is saving the Rangers in this series, similar to how Vasilevsky, I think, saved the Lightning in the Florida series.
I agree. And I think the Lightning found their game a little bit more yesterday. And from the third period of game 2 to all throughout this game, I thought it was, especially yesterday, just relentless pressure. They'd get out of the zone, they'd come back in the zone. It was kind of what the Rangers did to them in parts of game 2, but it was constant pressure. And that's the way you're going to beat Shesterkin. It's not, if he's rested and getting a good look at shots, which he was, he's going to stone you every time. But if you can get 45 seconds, a minute 50, constant pressure in the zone, get the defenders tired, that's when you're going to score. And then you got to throw in this. It's just the magic of Kucherov. I mean, as you said, we saw it all yesterday from Kucherov.
It was the Nikita Kucherov experience yesterday.
It was.
I always mention the Mike Smith experience, which, by the way, we saw that one the other night as well.
Yeah.
But Nikita Kucherov, the good, the bad, the ugly, and, of course, the great at the end.
Yeah.
It was everything rolled into one. I mean, 6 minutes of penalty kill time for him on high sticking yesterday.
Yes.
A lot of whiffs and fans, some giveaways.
That 4-minute minor in the third, I'll just be honest with you. I said, we're effed.
Yeah, I thought that was
effed. I thought for sure they were going to score. And more than that, even if they don't score, they're going to tilt the ice for 4 minutes. And let's talk a little bit about the officiating here as well. I mean, I'm not going to say it was weighted to one side or the other. It's just bad. I mean, they're missing calls. And some of the calls they make are curious, touch fouls. And then some of the most egregious that are obvious penalties are not being called. I mean, and then Shesterkin embellishment on the first. I mean, Corey Perry, did his stick touch his face mask? Yeah, his face mask, by the way, not his face. And did it brush his face mask? Yes, it did. Is that a penalty? Yes. Is the 2.5 delayed reaction that he was just shot? I mean, on the ice, is that warranting a embellishment call? Yes, that's textbook embellishment right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't miss that.
And it's
My God.
And it's a major swing in the game because all
Yes.
these events right here happened within like 5 or 7 minutes there in the second period. And you look at the first 4 goals of the game were all scored with the man advantage.
Yep.
I mean, these were 2 goaltenders that were like, I'm not letting anything in 5-on-5. You're going to have to literally get in a man advantage to beat me. You're going to have a perfect shot to beat me or something. And that's exactly what you saw. But I tell you what, especially in the first period, in the entire game, this is what was different about this one. And I just got the numbers here. The first 2 games, the Lightning gave it away 50 times. The Rangers
50 times.
The Rangers actually gave it away 52 times in the first 2 games.
Wow.
So it was actually very sloppy play on both.
Yeah.
Yesterday, just 4 giveaways for the Rangers, 6 for the Lightning.
How about that?
You want to talk about, and so that's what I'm
Maybe
saying.
it's the lighting.
Maybe. Maybe it's the ice. I don't know. They got better ice. I don't know.
Seriously, I mean, that's a humongous disparity. That could be ice. It could be lighting. Both.
But I could tell you, though, I mean, just watching it from above, I mean, the passing from both teams, the skill that was on the ice yesterday, it was fantastic. And I think the numbers there reflected. There was a lot of great passes finding tape in the neutral ice and going in. It was just a well-played hockey game, I think, by both teams. But obviously, the Lightning in that third period, you want to know why they're a championship-winning team. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, their zone time in the third was, I think, double what the Rangers was.
Yeah, shot advantage 19-6 for the Lightning.
Yeah,
I don't know if the Rangers had a single high-scoring chance opportunity there.
No, and this is the difference between a young team and a team that is experienced. And this is why it's hard to close out series. And this is why when it was 2-0, I was like, okay, this is not a big deal, folks. We've been here. But when it was 1-0 and everybody was freaking out, I was like, just stop. Shesterkin is stealing these games. And then, and their power play is really good. We got to stay out of the box. I mean, make the adjustments and do what you got to do. And even yesterday's game, I was like, gosh, I mean, to me, it was just like, we are owning this game, but Shesterkin is just a freaking stone wall. He's so good. And that's such the equalizer. He's that good. But if you get that relentless pressure, you're going to get him. And then the Kucherov magic, that pass, if Stammer to Kuch, right? I think it was. So Stammer to Kuch. If Stammer tries to get it to Palat, it's not going to make it.
Yeah.
It's not going to make it. Zibanejad's stick was there, and I think Kreider's stick was there. But when Kuch gets it and then redirects it to Palat with a backhand, no-look pass, right on his tape, inside the corner, I mean, that's not on Shesterkin, by the way. No. That is one hell of an effing goal with 40 seconds left. But Palat is nose to go to the net. I mean, these guys have been there before. This is, I think, the 3-point game for Kucherov puts him in with Gretzky, Yager. I mean, I saw the list. There's 7 guys that have three-point games in the playoffs, and it is a literal who's who of the greatest players in hockey. All of them in the Hall of Fame except Yager because he's still playing in wherever the hell he's playing over in Europe. Unbelievable. I mean, that's what wins in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they said it yesterday on our radio broadcast. John Forsland and Joe Micheletti, who did a great job, by the way. They said, they were talking about Nikita Kucherov, that when he is smiling and he's feeling it, at times he's just the best player in the entire world.
Yeah.
And at times in that game yesterday, he looked like the best player in the entire world, and you could tell he had the jump right away. Yeah. In the first 2 shifts he had, I think he had 3 shots on goal. And they were all pretty good scoring chances as well. And you saw him kind of flying by. He was feeling himself. He had that one nice dangle there, I think, in the second period where he kind of went around somebody. So when he's feeling himself, he's great. But obviously, like you said, there was a good, bad, and ugly of Nikita Kucherov yesterday. But that pass, and there's just not many guys who can do that.
No.
And I think I saw the playoff list active leaders. I think he moved up to 3rd now among active players. Think about that.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in the league that long.
No.
He's 3rd behind Crosby and Malkin, who are probably done for the most part their run of going to the postseason every year. Nikita Kucherov is going to be the active leader in playoff points in a few years.
Oh, no question. No question. And Hedman is now 14th all time with 100 points for NHL defensemen. 50th playoff goal for Kucherov. Yeah. I mean, a 50 goal season is amazing. 50 goals in the playoffs playing against the best of the best.
And to your point right there, how about Ondrej Palat, who has, I think, 40? Is it 42 or 43 now?
Yeah, and 10 game-winning goals in the playoffs.
10 winning goals.
Wow.
I mean, I think you're going to see this trend today. A lot of people are saying it. He doesn't get the pub, obviously, like Kucherov, Stamkos point. He might not have his numbers not going in the banner in the Raptors one day. It's not. But my goodness, if I can't say he's one of the most important players this franchise has seen.
And there's a feeling that, this will be his last season as a member of the Lightning.
He's making money for himself here if he wants it.
At 30, what is he, 31?
31. 31.
Yeah, 31 years old. He's never played anywhere else. His family, obviously, him and his family here are just, they're solidified here in this Tampa Bay area. And obviously with this franchise, yes, he could go chase the money. I don't see him getting a big contract like Gaudreau and some of these other guys got. I don't see that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I would think he does more. I think he does more things than Gaudreau does. And Gaudreau got a really good amount of money.
Gaudreau's, he's a first-round pick.
Blake Coleman was the same way.
Yeah, I just think those guys they were young. They're younger, if I'm not
little
mistaken.
bit.
Yeah,
It's
a little
not
younger.
by much.
I don't know. I mean, and this is not to disparage him in any way, but it's almost a compliment. He's just not that flashy guy that people are going to go, oh, we got Ondrej Palat. Somebody might overpay, but I also think Palat's smart enough to know that if he can play here for $2 million, it's going to save him a lot of money in moving expenses and heartache and, kids and all that stuff. And it's just, why go somewhere else?
And he's got a chance to play for one coach his entire career.
Right. Yeah. Who knows how to use him and appreciates everything he does. You're living in hockey paradise. I don't know.
I know. I think I've said.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
I would love to keep him.
Yeah,
I know the Lightning would too.
I said push comes to shove, give me Nick Paul over him because Nick Paul's the younger option.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think he would probably take a hometown discount too. I think.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. He would take a humongous
Absolutely.
hometown discount. I would think, but you never know with where guys are at financially. So, but whatever. That was a moment for Ondrej Palat that will live in Lightning histories. All right, so let's go through the goals if we can. And it starts, as we said, in the second period after what is a very entertaining first period. As I said on my intermission report in Amalie Arena, I mean, we have no score, but we had 35 total hits and 35 shots. And I think it was, what were the hits? The hits were 21-14. So it was a lot. Let me think back now. Shots were 15-12.
Yes.
Yeah. So 27 shots, 35 total hits in that first period, and some great goaltending. So it was entertaining. But we go to the second period, and we get the first call with Perry brushing up against Shesterkin and him getting the Academy Award, and that leads to this first power play goal by the Rangers.
Down low, a pass, one-timer from Zibanejad. Change speed there, and now Zibanejad firing, scores! A 94-mile-an-hour slapper from Zibanejad has the New York Rangers up by 1 here in Game 3.
And we've seen this before, and this is something that the Tampa Bay Lightning have had to deal with. Everybody has with this power play and the way he rips the puck. He has one opportunity, fans on it. It's a little bit of a knuckler, almost catches Vasilevsky off guard with the nature, comes off the stick the first time, but then reload. And it comes across, and this is from distance. And this is exactly what John Cooper was talking about. When he's this high, it's pretty hard to take that cross-seam pass away, and he just crushes this one on net. Kreider in front, beats Vasilevsky. Great screen.
That one, it's a hard shot. But it just seemed like Vasi didn't get over there in time because Kreider was in front. I think he was kind of feeling that maybe he's going to try to get the puck to Kreider for a redirect.
Well, there was a stat that they showed yesterday because I had the Sportsnet broadcast on the TV there in the booth, and they showed a great stat before. Vasilevsky, he's been beat in this series coming into the game. I think it was 5 times over his blocker side.
High blocker side.
And it was 4 times on the other side over top of him. That's where he let in all his goals. He was stunning everything that was ice level.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's obviously his weakness. And on the Rangers power play right now, which is clicking, you see kind of how the Lightning continue to pass it around the park with Hedman, Kucherov, and Stamkos. They get in kind of that triangle.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing for the Rangers. It's Panarin who plays that role of Kucherov, Adam Fox who plays the Hedman role, and then you have the big right-handed shot of Zibanejad.
Yeah.
And you saw how he fluffed the first one. They keep just going back to it.
Yeah.
They did that in Game 1, and it worked out too.
Well, I think what the Lightning have to answer that with cheating to that side. And it's not just getting Vasilevsky over there. It's getting a defender over there. Somebody's got to block that shot. So I hate to say that, but somebody's got to get in front of that 94-mile-an-hour shot. Ain't going to be me, but somebody needs to. And whoever that guy's going to be, because right now, Vasi's really having a hard time with that high blocker side. And that's where they're all set up. That's a matchup thing. And so it's hard to find a guy like Zibanejad or Stamkos that can shoot with that type of accuracy at that level. And you see how far out Zibanejad is. They just talked about that in the analysis that, it's hard to cut that pass off when he's that far out. And he still can steam it and have that type of accuracy. So that gives him a 1-0 lead. The next penalty, I'm trying to remember which penalty this was.
It was the other goaltender interference on Riley Nash.
So on Riley Nash, who's coming down the ice, gets hit from behind, knocked into Shesterkin. To me, this was he from my angle, which was right behind the goal. He was skating to the right of the goaltender, and the defender actually, I think, came from the inside and pushed him right into Shesterkin. I mean, I know they're going to call that a lot, but that one to me was another, it was a lot of contact by a defender before Nash went into the goalie.
I hate all these calls. I'm not sure if the Lightning scored on the one where Vetrano slammed into Vasilevsky, but even then, I see it. I know everybody looks at contact and goes, whoa. I just what do you want them to do?
Well, Vetrano's another one.
Because McDonough, it was such bang bang. McDonough kind of can't tell me McDonough didn't lean into him either.
He did, but the angle that Vetrano was taking was right at Vasilevsky, and I thought Nash tried to hold up and scoot to the side, whereas I thought Vetrano never put on the brakes.
That's fair. This was
he much
slammed
it. I was afraid Vasi was hurt. Because he slammed into Vasi.
I mean, Vasilevsky, there's a reason why he has longevity. Look how he protects himself.
Yeah.
But it's a little thing he does, but they avoided something there.
So that leads to this one, which I thought the Lightning were very soft in front of the net on this one.
Ripped by Zibanejad, rebound, score! Chris Kreider, his 10th of the playoffs, and it's 2-0 for the New York Rangers.
A lot of Rangers fans there. A lot of Rangers.
Back-to-back power play goals for the New York Rangers. And really, essentially,
Cooper looks so pissed right there.
Kreider is so good in front of the net. A big body, plants himself there, creates the screen on the first one. That's high by Zibanejad. This one, a rocket off the pad, and he's right there to bang in the rebound. Hedl taking this bumper position with Strome out. Beautiful cross-seam pass once again by Panarin. Sets this all in motion. Finds the stick as Zibanejad. Low shot. Great positioning by Kreider. No chance on that rebound. 2-0 Rangers.
Yeah, I thought McDonough was really soft right there. He's got that side of the goal in front. He's not even in contact with Kreider whatsoever, and there's nobody else threatening him at that point. You just got to be stronger in front of the net. Kreider's just sitting. He literally does not get touched before he puts that puck in. He's right in front of Vasilevsky. It can't happen.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect that out of Ryan McDonough.
Very unlike
and
him.
Ryan McDonough knows Chris Kreider very well. I mean, they were teammates there for years. So as a guy that just scored 52 goals this year, and a majority of them came right there, parked in that spot.
I was shocked when I said, who was that? And I went back and I said, McDonough?
Yeah.
He must have been either gassed or
maybe. I mean,
that's so unlike
I don't even think he had his stick on the ice.
No, it was weird.
But,
it was weird.
But good again, though. I mean, just giving the Rangers their due. Zibanejad, I mean, the wherewithal to put that shot though there. I mean, I'm sure he saw that.
Yep.
I mean, just that power play is damn good.
It's really good. And the Lightning came back with that 4-minute kill. And in the third period, I thought their penalty kill at times was really, really good. I mean, it sounds crazy because they got 2 power play goals, but they had 8? I think they had 8 minutes in power play time total.
Yeah,
8 or 10 minutes in power play time. And especially in the third period when you needed that kill, and they spent a majority of that penalty kill in their zone with Nick Paul and Cirelli. I mean, those guys were just heroic in their penalty killing. So good. I thought there was one opportunity where Nick Paul was going down the ice. He gets freaking hooked in the head. Did you see that? Somebody's stick came up high as he's going for a breakaway on a short-handed goal. Stick comes up high and hits him in the head. Like that's a high stick and a hook from behind and on a breakaway. I'm like, and there's no call whatsoever.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay.
I don't like to go after refs, but that yesterday there was some.
That's open ice. How do you miss that?
Yeah, very interesting things. I was kind of glad. I think Killorn, when he got the penalty, I think he got the trip there on that 4 minute.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna be honest. I think Killorn was he was looking to go down, but I was like, just do it.
He got hooked. He definitely got. And then Trouba goes into the corner and cross checks somebody on that same play.
I thought that one was more egregious than the trip. The trip, he actually went down. He grabbed Killorn's skate with his hand.
Yeah.
So he obviously trying to do that. And they had a little discussion. The refs did. I saw them. If you recall, they delayed it and they were going to call maybe 2 penalties. I thought they probably should.
They should have called 2 penalties in that situation.
I thought the second one was worse.
Real and very dangerous as well. Yeah. So, and then there was the moment the Lightning got that were on the power play late, and I don't know who got hit by that shot, but Hedman blasted one, or it might have been Sergachev.
It was Goodrow.
It was Goodrow that went down.
Yeah.
Whew. That was scary. I mean, I know you can't blow the whistle in that situation. That is a weird.
I thought they were going to blow it dead. I mean,
that's a weird part of hockey. They have their discretion, right? Whether they can blow it dead. I mean, he was clearly he could not get up. He could not get up.
Well, I don't know if you recall, but he got hurt in game 1 of the playoffs where he blocked a shot.
Right, yeah.
And he was out for the next 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
And he just got back a couple games ago, not too long ago. Not 100%. And then you take that one.
You know where you learn that.
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs right there.
Yeah, that's it. And man, that was a scary situation. But I to the refs' credit, I mean, it's a crucial time. You can't blow that play dead. If they did blow it
John
dead,
Cooper would have lost his mind.
Yeah, because
then it forces you doing the face-off, right?
And you also don't know, especially after what we saw freaking Shesterkin do with the Academy Award performance. And I'm not saying Goodrow would do this, but guys lay on the ice, maybe they're not really that hurt and they're just looking for a call. I don't know.
To his credit,
gamesmanship has been made.
He got up at some point. He went straight to the locker room. I mean, they were still in the zone, the Lightning, and he's like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah, that was, and the Lightning did not score. And Shesterkin made 4 or 5 incredible saves on that sequence in that power play. The Lightning were all freaking over him. All right, so let's get to the fun part here as we go to the first goal, and this is Kucherov right on the power play as he gets his 50th goal, the 6th player in the league to have 3 points in 20 career playoff games, joining Gretzky, Messier, Jari Kurri, Dennis Savard, and Jaromir Jagr. Pretty good list. Here we go.
It's Corey Perry, right circle. Perry weaving to the slot, drops it right circle. Kucherov. Kucherov dances right corner. Cross ice Stamkos left circle.
Too late.
Cross ice Kucherov right circle. Center point Hedman. Right circle Kucherov. Score! Big goal! Kucherov! The Lightning are back in business. A power play goal, and they make it 2-1. With 9:10 left in the second.
Well, you heard me say too late. It was the first one. Stamkos had an opportunity, and then he went across the back of Victor Hedman to pass it to Kucherov, and Kucherov shot this right along the ice. It went right between the legs of Shesterkin into the net. That's a big goal for the Lightning.
Not the usual. The one-time slapper. In the top shelf, he goes low this time, and maybe that surprised Shesterkin, and good on Kucherov, because you gotta find a different way. So that makes it 2-1, and then the Lightning get another power play, and this one really, and this is right at the beginning of the third period. So we go to the third period. It's 2-1 now. The Lightning are looking for that equalizer. They get the penalty, and here's the power play.
Hedman. 2-1 Rangers, early third. Drop past Kucherov to the red line. Across the blind, Corey Perry. They'll skate right circle. Perry. Cross ice. Stamkos. Score! Stamkos! We are tied at 2 with 18:38 left in the third.
What a pass by Corey Perry to Stamkos. And Stammer didn't waste any time. No hesitation at all. And that's what beat Shesterkin.
just drilled it. Just drilled it. As soon as that pass came across from Corey Perry, he just drilled it. Beat Shesterkin up high on that stick side.
Yeah, that was actually Stamkos rips this one, and but didn't go to the near post. It was almost far post and almost hit Corey Perry. Barely missed his stick and goes right into the top shelf. What a goal by Stamkos. Incredible shot, and the Lightning tied up 2-2.
Yeah, that's what you got to get him moving a little bit.
Yeah.
He went across him, and I mean, when you put a shot like that, and they mentioned it right there, didn't waste any time. It was all in one fluid motion. Pass, shot, off the crossbar, and in. I tell you what, Stamkos has been shooting the puck pretty dang good here in the last couple of games. He's been really good in this series, I think, and big needed goal, because then you get that, what was it, not even a minute into the third period.
Yeah,
I mean, then it's like game, set, match. Let's go.
Yeah. Now the Lightning are pressing the entire third period, and they're just owning the play. And Shesterkin is standing on his head right and left. And then you get the 4-minute minor to double minor to Kucherov, and I'm like, oh, Zibanejad's over there, and they're dabbing his face because he got it in the blood on his lips, got it in the blood. And so they get 4 minutes. I'm like, it's the only way they're going to score. It's their only way they're going to score. And the Lightning penalty kill was phenomenal. And they get a penalty in the middle of that. So it kind of cut the 4 minute down a little bit. So they come out of it, no score. And then the Lightning are just pressing and pressing. And here I get a text from my producer. Hey, are you near the studio? I'm like, of course I'm near the studio. And I got to go do overtime now. So I'm getting ready to do my overtime intermission. And I walk in the door and I'm like, I didn't want to do this, but I guess I'm back. And as soon as I said that, it's like Palat scores and the place just goes crazy. And I'm like, well, I guess I won't be needed for overtime. See you later. And just went out there and partied with all the fans. Unbelievable. Let's play it again just for fun. Let's get one more time. An encore. Courtesy of Lightning Radio Network.
Back for Hedman. To center ice and Kucherov up the right wing. Across the blue line, pops to Stamkos left circle. Stamkos, shoot, save made by Shesterkin. Rebound to Chernak right point. Left point Hedman. Across ice feed. Palat! Palat!
Wow.
Ondrej Palat! Off a touch pass from Kucherov! 3-2 Lightning with 41.6 seconds left in the third.
Wow. What a pass. Unbelievable.
Sweet Caroline.
Touch pass by Kucherov to Palat, who beats Shesterkin on the short side over the catching glove. Perfect little passing. Goes to Stamkos. Stamkos shoots it out front. And then Chernak goes to Hedman, who passes it to Kucherov, and Kucherov to Palat, and Palat scored.
Wow.
That was the Lightning's 51st shot.
Wow. That was some kind of party, man, for the last 40 seconds, too. Lightning get a couple of clears, no real dangerous chances in the last 40 seconds with Shesterkin out of the net. And the Lightning come home with a 3-2 win that was just as fun and as exhilarating as you can imagine. Just amazing.
I'm glad they got that one, because I had the feeling if that went to overtime, I thought the Lightning were going to lose. I had that feeling. I thought they unloaded the tank in that third period, and I'm just sitting there like, my goodness. I mean, they're not going to beat this guy, are they? I mean, I thought we were it was the same thing as what we did to Florida. I'm like, they're going to throw everything at us, and Vasilevs is going to do it. I felt the same way. We just put everything but the kitchen sink at it. I mean, Corey Perry, did you recall there? I think it might have been on the power play. He was playing the point role. He had to have been maybe like 2 or 3 feet in front of Shesterkin. The net is wide open.
Oh, he missed it.
And he somehow roofed it, almost took it out of play. Nick Paul had the same exact scoring chance earlier in the third.
Yeah.
On the second on the other end. I mean, they had so many wide open nets, and it's like, I don't know if they're gripping the stick a little bit. I don't know, but
the Corey Perry one
I just could not.
Everybody was
dumbfounded.
It was the audible groan. And I went to look at the replay. I'm like, how did he miss that net? You know, it's just, I think the puck was a little on end.
Yeah.
And yeah. Whew. But they get the win, and as big a win as we've had, and as shades of Colton's goal with 3.8 seconds left in that game with that no-look backhand pass from Kucherov. Remember that one. It's just that kind of magic is what you need to win a Stanley Cup. You need all those other things, but you need that extraordinary talent that sets up plays like that or shots like that. And Cooch is our guy that provides that. And what just incredible. All right, we'll take our first break. And when we come back, we're going to hear from Kucherov. We're going to hear from Palat. We're going to hear from John Cooper, hear from all the principals, and break it down a little bit more. Historic win for the Lightning. Series now 2-1. Oh, and I got to talk about some Rangers fans that I met yesterday as well in the Chase Club. Very interesting dynamic. Stay with us. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. There are many big builders here, big companies in the Tampa Bay area that have used some substandard stucco over the past 10 to 15 years. And if you built a home or moved into a home, you may have some of that substandard stucco work on your house, and it can lead to a lot of major damage that you can't see at first. There's cracks, water gets behind it. It can rot your drywall. Then you can get black mold, and it could be thousands and thousands of dollars that you should not have to pay for. And a lot of people don't know this. This is why we're doing this advertising campaign for Chris Palermo. He is an expert in this field. He's done many of these cases, and he can get your insurance company and builders to pay up. So if you think you have some of this damage, there's cracks in your stucco, give him a call. Go to PalermoPA.com and get all the information right there. PalermoPA.com. Get the contact information, send him an email, or give him a call. Set up a free consultation. It's all free to find out if you have a case. So go to PalermoPA.com and tell him JP sent you. Big Lightning fan as well, season ticket holder. He was there screaming his head off yesterday like many of you were. So just give him a call, and he'll talk Lightning hockey with you too as well, as long as you want, and won't charge you on the free call. So there you go. All right. By the way, Brian Bradley's going to join us at 11 o'clock. We'll get his perspective on it. Before we get to the sound, I'll just say 20% Ranger fans in the house yesterday, maybe as much as 25% Rangers fans in the house. There were 3 particular ones in the Chase Club that were all dressed up in their jerseys and let's go Rangers. And they were being respectful for the most part, but constant let's go Rangers. You might see that as disrespectful, but you pay his money. You're in the Chase Club. Those tickets ain't cheap. About $500 face, I think, $400 or $500 face, maybe even more. At least $500 face. So, okay. But I also noticed this in the ticket market. When the Bolts went down 2-0, the tickets for yesterday plummeted. And before the game, many of the tickets on Ticketmaster, which are mostly Lightning fans, were selling for half of what they paid. Not double, half of what they paid. And I'm not one to, it's a tough economy. I get it. It's a tough economy. If you're making, $200-$300 a ticket and, it's going to help you pay for more tickets, I get it. You're selling tickets for half of what you paid because your team's down 2-0. And I don't know the specific cases, but it's not a good look. It is not a good look. So I hope that now that we've won a game, and I understand, Lightning fans are probably spoiled. This is the 6th Eastern Conference Final in 8 years, and those tickets ain't cheap.
No, they're not.
I mean, I know some very affluent people that are season ticket holders I hear them complaining from time to time. It's like, wow, I was, it's kind of hoping we didn't make the next round. I just got hit for another $3,000. It's hard. It's hard. I get it, but if you're going to be a championship fan base, and I think we are, I know we are. We got to limit the number of Rangers fans that are in our house.
Well, I told you before the show, I'm like, Edmonton's down 3-0 in the series.
Yeah.
Only 4 teams in the history of the NHL have ever come down from a 3-0 series deficit. And yet tonight, I think you'll be hard-pressed to find a single Colorado Avalanche fan in that arena.
Yeah.
And it's going to be full. And it's going to be loud. I know it's a little different. But this is
the first time they've been.
That's what I'm saying. I know it's a little different because
way different.
They haven't won a Stanley Cup since just after Gretzky left, I believe. They haven't been to one since 2006. I get it. But again, that's a very passionate hockey-centric fan base.
Yep.
Again, it's the only sport in the market, really.
Yeah, it's a way different situation.
It's a way different situation. I get it. But if you want to be a respected fan base, you gotta show up to the park.
Yeah.
And you gotta be loud, because I'm just gonna be honest with you. Tampa crowd is not even close to the Colorado crowd, the Edmonton crowd, or the Ranger crowd.
I think
I don't think it's close.
I think we're loud. We're pretty damn loud.
It's a different atmosphere.
You look at some of those other buildings, it seems there's it seems they stand more. And maybe a lot of Lightning fans are probably happy that we don't stand the entire game like they do in some other places. But I 6 years in the Eastern Conference Final, we've spent more money on playoff tickets than any fan base in America by far. Like, we do all these playoff numbers where the Lightning are leading. You know what else we're leading in? Paying for tickets.
Yeah, we're right right there with Golden State, I think.
I mean, if Lightning fans can go back through their credit card statements, they'll find that they have spent an inordinate amount of money on Lightning on Teo. So I hesitated to even talk about that today, but it is what it is. And I know, we're from a national level, we'll get some shit for it. But, again, it's a lot of money spent, a ton of money spent on these playoff tickets. So I get it, but I'm just saying, let's push through.
Yeah,
it's not always going to be this way. There's going to be years when we are begging to be back into the playoffs and go this deep. So remember that you're watching something special. This is a dynasty team. You're not going to get to the pearly gates and go, damn, I'm so pissed that I spent money on that game 3 where we came back from a 2-0 deficit and Palat scored with 40 seconds left. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who sold their tickets were at home going, why did I sell my tickets?
Yeah.
Dadgummit. Yeah. And you let the Rangers fans get in there yelling and screaming for their team while your team's winning with 40 seconds left. Come on.
Yeah. Did you, by our boy Jeff Antonella, did you see they showed him on the big screen sporting the The Tampa Bay over New York.
I did not.
They put him on the screen. I don't know if I don't know who runs the board up there for the screen, but I don't know if they knew it was Jeff or not. But I just was like, oh, that's Jeff right there.
We're calling the shots. I don't know if that's Steve. Now, Steve is our main producer. Stephen Fry is our main producer. He sits out in the bowl. And Felicia is our director. Yeah. So it's Felicia probably making the call on that one.
Yeah. I saw Jeff had the shirt on. Titus O'Neil was wearing the same Smack Apparel t-shirt as well, was in the building.
I like it.
So I like it. And last thing I'll say about the fans, by the way, before we get to the sound, please stop throwing your thunder clappers on the ice.
That was bad. That was so bad.
I'm like stressing out watching these guys skate around these
so bad. Not only that, but those things are hard. I saw some dude from the Chase Club from the 5th floor. In fact, I got video of it. It's in my video of after the game. I couldn't believe this doucher did from the 5th floor. Like, not only, I'm not even worried about the players at that point because they got their gear on still, and I think that's why they kept their helmets on. By the way, that his paddle landed down in the crowd, like from the 5th floor, bro. Have a brain or two.
I know, it's like a couple people do it and everybody follows.
I told the guy, I go, yo, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, everybody else is doing it. Oh, okay, moron. I mean, come on.
I was watching Vasilevsky.
Got to be better than that.
I was watching Vasilevsky. That's all I was watching was his skates. I was like, don't run over one. Don't run over one.
Can you imagine?
I mean, that's all I was doing.
Can you imagine a player gets hurt?
And some of the players were doing like this, like, stop it.
Yeah.
Please. And you saw they got off the ice pretty quickly. I was like, please don't do that again.
Our fans yesterday.
Now, I bet they won't give those out for game 4.
They never will again.
They're going to go back to the
and they make a difference.
Yeah,
they make a real difference. I mean, for whatever reason, we don't yell loud enough. So they make a real difference. And that was just idiotic on so many levels. And I think the Lightning organization will probably go, we need to say something like, we need to email to our fans or like, hey, come on now. Because we need those things. We need that. They work well. Everybody loves them except parents when their kids bring them home.
The Canadian media.
Yeah. That was bad. Really, really
I say
bad
we party like it's 04 and we break out the regular Thunder sticks.
Yeah.
I say we break those bad boys out. Have them white.
The Thunder clappers.
Yeah, let's do the regular one, the Thunder sticks, the original Thunder sticks.
See, the ones you blow up.
The ones you blow up.
Yeah.
I say we throw it back to that.
Yeah, and because those don't fly.
No, they don't. And if they do,
they make good noise. They make good amount of noise. But yeah, come on, we're better than that. Come on. All right, let's hear from Coop after the game. Did he mention anything about the Thunderclaps?
I would venture to say no, but here he is.
Can you
comment
talk
on
a little
the
bit about
Thunderclappers
your
coming
team's
from raining down from
the down 2-0 in games, 2-0 in the game itself today, and how much maybe your pedigree for the last couple of seasons had to do with that?
We've been in spots like this. Big thing for us was felt we had a recipe. We just had to stay with it. I think there were times in this series where we've tried to manufacture things that weren't there, that put us on our heels, gave up opportunities. Whether it was a break, whatever you want to say, we weren't in sync. I thought today we were down 2-0. And I don't want to sit here and say we didn't deserve to be down 2-0 because their power play has been great. But we take those penalties, but our 5-on-5 game I liked. And so we just needed to stick with that and stay out of the box is what we had to do. And we would be fine. And I think in maybe years past, 3-4 years ago, maybe panic would have set in at some point. Definitely not with this group. And the power play got us going and then we took off from there. But no question, the been there before is really helped us, just our mindset in games.
Hey, John, I know you've talked about him a lot, but that was Ondrej Palat's 10th game winner in the playoffs, and he passed Tyler Johnson for the most in franchise history. I was just wondering if you could talk about what he's meant for this group over the past several playoff runs and how big of a player he is. Yeah.
Well, the guys are best buds, so I'm sure text messages or two will go between those guys. I can't say enough about both of them and what they've meant to our organization, both Tyler and Palat. Palat, we've seen this for years. He is the quiet kid. He doesn't say anything. All he does is give you everything he has on every shift. He's played up and down the lineup, but he's got that ability to play that blue-collar game with white-collar players. And that's a great trait to have. And he's been doing it in his career, and he's usually the third guy talked about on the lines he plays on. But he comes through with statistics that you just banged out now, and it's much deserved, and all his line mates would say the same thing.
I love that line.
That's for damn sure.
What do you say? Blue collar player that can play with white collar players.
Yeah. He's a gritty, dirty player at times, and that's why he's always worked so well with Stamkos and Kucherov. And isn't it great to see those guys reunite for that goal there? And they all know each other so well. And in that moment, Palat's going to the net because he knows Kucherov or Stamkos, somebody's going to find him. And be ready with your stick on the ice and ready to shoot and anticipate it. And he just went to the goal net thinking, you know what? Kucherov's going to find somehow to put that thing right on my tape, and damned if he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, the skill involved in stopping the pass from Stammer and then backhanding it over the stick of Zibanejad into the and you think back to the one where he fed Colton in front of the net. He goes behind the net. There's two guys. He's about to get sandwiched. His body is facing the glass, and he literally backhands it without looking right past the edge of the goal, right onto Colton's tape, and it's in the net. The 3.8.
He's a world-class player. He's a world-class player.
What do you say about that? Unbelievable. All right, who we got next?
We'll continue here with Coop just for a little bit here.
All right.
Standing up on the right here. John, the penalty kills obviously played well for you, but on a day like today where they give up a couple early, but kind of do that stick with it, I guess that you kind of talk about how important was that today?
So the power plays trade goals. It's 2-2. And I think you got to give credit probably to both penalty kills on each team. Because we got one, they kill it off. When you're staring up at the scoreboard, there's 8 minutes left, and now you got to kill 4 off. And that's the staple. That's how you got to win games. You do, yes. Do you need your power play to score? Of course, we need that to get back into the game. But when you need the big kill, we got it. And very fortunate we were able to draw a penalty. But there were many ups and downs in this game, but that was a pivotal point for us. With 8 minutes left, it was a great job by them.
Standing up on the right.
Don, is there a feeling of anticipation on the bench when Nikita Kucherov has the puck that he's about to make a play or he's about to do something special on the ice?
I think when you ask that question, you know the answer. I think they're not only on our bench, I think it's the entire building.
Yeah, but we want to hear it from you, Coach.
I think he's tired of answering the question for the last
it's 8
funny. Years, maybe.
Yeah, it's that. But I think that was that Maria or one of the locals, and and the reporter is looking for Cooper to make another glowing statement about Kucherov because we got to write a story today about Kucherov, right? We got to talk about Kucherov today.
How it goes.
And in his mind, he's like, I've answered this question, especially for the local media, 1,000 times. And now, if that were somebody national would have asked that question, he probably would have given another glowing recommendation or review of Kucherov. So it kind of is what it is. But we know the answer, Coach, but we want to hear it from you. Yeah. So, if you don't mind, for the 1,000th time, can you please put it on record or whatever? We just need a fresh bite about today's, ridiculous pass that made the goal. But I get it.
Maybe let's hear a little bit of Kucherov here after the game, speaking with Pat Maroon.
As happened here the past couple of playoff runs that you've had where you're getting chances, you're getting opportunities, you get the puck a lot, but they're not going in, and just making sure that you stay with that process.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job of sticking with it tonight and just going out there and just working hard and competing, not getting frustrated, just kind of sticking to our game plan. And we were kind of in the similar situation to Toronto, down 3-2, going in 2-1 into the third. And, it's one of those games where you just got to stick with it, stay in the fight, and just got to remember that feeling, how hard it is to just to get those opportunities and finally get one there.
Left side, Joe. Can you just talk us through that last play there with the feed to Palat? Like, did you see him all the time, or just how did you see it kind of develop?
I saw Polly on the left side, and I was trying to get open for Hedy in the middle, and Hedy found me, and I found Polly on the left side, and that's it.
For Pat and Nikita, you guys obviously defending two-time champions. How much does that come into play with the way you responded today, being down 2-0 and obviously down 2-0 in the game itself? How would you describe your response to that today?
I thought we responded well. Are you just asking like as a whole, as a group, or like the game tonight, or? Yeah, I thought we responded well. We
won.
I thought
51
tonight
shots
was a good example of just competing and playing the right way, simple, taking some risk out of our game, and just stuck with our structure and stuck with the game plan. As it took us almost a full 60 minutes to get the third one. So, but PK had a hell of a stop there. Going tied 2-2 and you get a 4-minute minor there. PK did a hell of a job. Then Killer draws a penalty, kind of gets our momentum back a little bit. Obviously, it kind of deflates us a little bit, knowing that you have to go in the PK. And our power play did a hell of a job of scoring 2 to get us back right into this game. And our response was
Special
good
teams
tonight. I thought our response, next man up, next shift up, was very good, and everyone was engaged.
Yeah, special teams have just been huge. That PK, I know that the Rangers are scoring, but it just seems like we're coming up with some big ones when we needed it, and that one was huge.
I still can't get over the Kucherov answer there. That's the epitome of explain it to me like I'm 5, right there. Yeah, Hedy. I went to go find Hedy. He found me.
I found Polly.
He score, and yeah.
Yeah, and he's not getting the Tom Brady analyst job after.
I don't think so, and I don't know if I don't know if he'll be quoted in any national story today. No. But
it certainly wasn't the number one bullshit Kucherov.
No, I don't think so. No T-shirts for that response.
No, we cannot make a T-shirt based on that.
We could actually. I'm sure we could put
Hedy found me.
I found Pally found net.
It sounds like a T-shirt to me.
We win.
Keep it simple.
There you go.
I guess so. Any more from Cooch? Or just Maroon just take all the questions?
Maroon took most of them there. So
all right.
We'll move on there because we got Brad's coming up here in a few minutes anyway. But I will say a note from, I think Cooper had mentioned that all the experience they have. I'll reiterate this again. I just have never seen a team play that good from behind. I really have not.
Yeah.
I think that still needs to be highlighted because that is a rare trait. And championship pedigree is that team.
Well, I think also it's just human nature to just kind of, exhale so many times when you give it your best and the guy in the net is just stoning your ass. It's just that is why you've seen some of the greatest goalies, and we've seen Vasilevsky do it to so many teams, right? They lose hope. You lose hope after a while when you have, 40, 50 shots on a guy and you just can't beat him. You're getting great opportunity after great opportunity. It's hard to keep your level up and to keep pushing. That's when you talk about championship pedigree, that's when the mental toughness, that's what we're talking about. That's the personification of it, is that you just keep going no matter how many times you crawl up the side of the mountain and you fall back down. You got to keep going back up. Keep going back up until you finally get to the top and pull yourself up. It's hard. It's hard to keep doing it. And the Lightning just kept doing it time and time again. Before we take a break, I want to read this that somebody just tweeted out. It's really choked me up. It said, this week, my 16-year-old nephew shot himself trying to end his life. He survived, and tonight we were FaceTiming during the game while he was at Tampa General. He told me he could hear the screaming from Thunder Alley when Palat scored. I'll never forget this day. He's still here. I mean, that may sound like something trivial, and many times people think sports is trivial, but when somebody is that desperate and you can find something in their lives that you can connect with and makes them happy, it's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal to give them hope. And, hopefully that young man will recover and go on to live a long and happy life. But so many of our children especially are taking their lives or trying to take their lives that it's good to hear that story. And maybe this will, give him a moment of some happiness that he can grab onto and have some hope. So I'm glad that person shared. I don't want to mention names, but they shared that. I retweeted it. All right, quick break. When we come back, we will chat with Brian Bradley. I watched the game with him yesterday. Did a little bit of celebrating afterwards. So we'll talk to the former Lightning All-Star about this incredible comeback. Stay with us. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595, or email him at scott@amstampa.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. Also, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Christopher Lugo. He was at the game yesterday as well, or actually he's going Tuesday. Another big Lightning fan. His medical team can get you guys in perfect shape. He works with some of our top pilots in the military. He can pass on that cutting-edge technology to you as well. If you're looking to lose weight, testosterone replacement therapy, whatever, they'll spend lots of time with you, and they'll get you right. Get you the right diet, personalized medicine. They can do it for you. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Look them up and get an appointment and tell them JP sent you. All right, my good friend Brian Bradley, former Lightning All-Star, leading scorer, joining us now. Watched the game with him yesterday, and my friend, that was one hell of a comeback. Your thoughts?
Wow, what a game, JP. Unbelievable. I mean, you know what? There's just no quit in these guys. I mean, it's two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, down 2-0, down 2-1 after the second period. Come out, were absolutely amazing in the third period, moving their feet, cycling the puck, using their speed. Stamkos scores a huge goal, and then Kucherov makes an amazing play to Palat.
Oh.
I mean, you know what? I'm happy for Palat. You know what? Hard worker, like John Cooper said, blue-collar guy. You know, he's gritty in the corners, works hard every night, scores a huge goal for the Lightning. I think what has he got now? 10 career game-winning goals in the playoffs or something?
10
Like,
game-winning.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you always talk about, an unsung hero. You know what? Good for Platt. I mean, him, Clorne, Cirelli, all those guys, Nick Paul, Ross Colton, name after name. I mean, they're just working their asses off out there. And you know what? I mean, it's good to get some of those guys rewarded. And, we can talk about the Stars because we will next. But, I mean, I'm happy for Platt. What a great game. I mean, unbelievable, JP. What do you think, too?
Well, I thought it was a display in perseverance, especially with Shesterkin doing what he did. And this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you. When you're playing a game in a series like this and you're facing a goalie that just seems to have your number, especially Kucherov, how do you make adjustments? To me, it just felt like the Lightning said, you know what? We're just going to overwhelm them. We're just going to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming until the dude cracks. And that's what they did. But my question for you as a player is, how hard is it to do that, to keep mustering the energy and the wherewithal to keep coming at a guy when he keeps stoning you time and time again? That can't be easy mentally or physically.
Yeah, it's not, JP, because sometimes you just play certain teams or certain goalies. You just have your number.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's almost a mental thing. You got to get over it. And you know what? I mean, and you know what? We Sorokin, he's been 5-0 against us.
Yeah.
Bazzi's 0-4 against them. We needed to have a win. We needed to have a game. And you know what? I think in the third period, being down 2-1, I mean, this is a veteran team. This is a team that has no quit. I mean, a lot of teams would have not been able to get out of that yesterday, and the Lightning came through, and it just shows their determination, their grit, not only by them, by the coaching staff, by everybody. It was like the third period. If we play like that in the third period, where we move our feet and get the puck and cycle it down low, there is no better team in the NHL when we're moving. And when we stand still and wait for things to happen, we're not that good. You saw what we did in the third period. The guys came out, they executed to a T, no turnovers. They outshot them 19-6, and it was a display of Lightning championship hockey. And you know what? That's how we got to play going forward. And you know what? We talked about yesterday. I did a radio show with Eric Earlson. Mm-hmm. We talked about the top players have to be ready to play. Kucherov, goal and assist. Stamkos, goal and assist. Or Kucherov, goal and 2 assists. Stamkos, goal and assist. Hedman, 2 assists. Vasilevsky, amazing in net. Not one bad goal. So when your star players perform like that, you're going to win games. And that's the difference between us and a lot of teams, is when the chips are down and we need a goal, our top guys always come through. That's why we won 2 Stanley Cups back to back.
Brian Bradley joining us here. I totally agree with what you're saying there, and that's why you're talking about a pedigree of championship guys that just keep coming and they know what it takes. I gotta ask you about this. Gerard Gallant, the Rangers coach, after the game said, "quote about the Lightning players crowding Igor Shesterkin's crease." He said, "quote It phases me more than him. I don't like it. I don't think it's a big part of it. Hopefully, when we talk to the supervisor tomorrow, they'll take care of some of that because it wasn't right." Did you see the Lightning illegally crowding Shesterkin's crease during the game? I didn't see that as much. Did you?
Well, I mean, Gerard Gallant, I play with him here. He's a great guy. I mean, they're just trying to kind of send a message to the league to make sure they look out for this. You know what? It's happening on both sides.
Right.
It's happening to Vazzy, too. I mean, you know what? Vetriano ran into Vazzy. I mean, they're doing the same thing. Corey Perry does his job in front of the net, just like Maroon. You know what? They're getting in his face, and that's what you got to do to win playoff series. You know what? I mean, you know what? For us to win, we got to make he's a smaller goalie. We got to move side to side, and you know what? Get rebounds in front. So I don't care as long as they're not calling it. I'm doing it. That's the way I think.
Yep, absolutely. It's part of the game, right? I mean, and we got to talk about Shesterkin. We've talked about what an incredible goalie he is. But that freaking flop yesterday, a second and a half after Corey Perry brushes his mask, he falls down like he just got sniped. I mean, come on. What if that's not the definition of embellishment, Brads? What the hell is?
Yeah, you know what? To me, that was definitely embellishment. I mean, they called it on Corey Perry, but I mean, he threw his stick back 20 feet in the air like he got shot.
Ugh.
I mean, I can understand you got to kind of do a little bit, but I mean, I didn't agree with that call. I don't think the guys have the right to run into goalies. Like even when we ran into their goalie, those are penalties.
Yep.
I mean, you got to protect the goalies.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. If he comes out of that blue paint, he's open game.
Yep.
To be touched. He's got to stay in the blue paint. That's part of his equipment. But when he starts to creep out too far,
which he does,
hey, there's nothing wrong with getting a stick on his pad or doing something. Why not?
Yeah. Other
teams are doing it. I've seen it in the Colorado series. I've seen it in lots of the other series that were played before. So at the end of the day, you know what? It was a huge win by the Lightning. I mean, even when we had that 4-minute penalty in the third period with McDonough, Sergachev, Chernak, I mean, wow, those guys defensively, Ruda, unbelievable. I mean, we almost scored a couple shorthanded goals on that.
Imagine if we score there. Yeah.
Elmar. I'll tell you this. I mean, there should have been Trouba should have got a 4-minute penalty. Not only did he trip the guy, but he elbowed the guy in the face.
Yes. I mean, it was
they didn't even call that.
I love that my Lightning Vision compatriots showed that on the big board about 6 times while the refs were talking to each other. I don't know if they wanted to look up real quick, they could have seen a clear elbowing call in the corner there.
And even Kucherov's penalty, he got a 4-minute penalty. That's not 4 minutes. There's not enough blood. I mean, what? Did it touch? Like, I mean, I don't even really see much blood on, Zivanji.
I didn't see any. They were dabbing him with a white towel, and I didn't see any blood.
For a 4-minute penalty, JP, you got to have a good cut. Yeah. I mean, to me, that was just a weak call. It was probably definitely a 2-minute minor, but not at that stage of the game can you call a penalty like that. But, I mean, I can't say enough about the Lightning team. You know what? Give John Cooper credit. He matched lines. Sorelli's line, Hagel and Korn, they did a great job 5-on-5 against, Panarin, Zivandrabad. They were awesome. Didn't really give them much. I loved it. So you know what? Coaching was a factor. Matching up was a key factor in last night's game. And you know what? The Rangers got a good power play. I mean, just like us, we can't take penalties against those guys. They have a good power play. They executed 2 last night just like we did.
So when we had you on Friday, you said you were pretty optimistic that Braden Point could play in this series. And I think you said maybe game 4. I don't know if you had a chance to watch him skate over the weekend. I think he skated yesterday in the pregame. Do you still feel that way, that we're going to see Braden Point maybe earlier than not?
Yeah, you know what? I saw him. I did not see him skate on Saturday. I saw him skate Friday in New York. I thought he looked good. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how close they think he is, but he skated full speed, did cutback moves. I mean, if he's not close, he's really close. I mean, if he's not in game 4 tomorrow, could be game 5. I mean, I think it's game time decisions now where he comes back because he didn't look too bad. He looked really good. Made some nice cutback moves, shots. So to me, I think he's closer than further away right now. It just depends if he gets clearance from the doctors and, you know, the team trainers, Tommy Mulligan and all that stuff. They got to look at it and see what's best for Braden Point too.
And to that point, the Lightning have been playing the 11-7 kind of since he went down. Yesterday, John Cooper makes the change and goes back to the traditional 12-6. How much of any impact did you think that had in the way the Lightning may have played? I know it was only 5 minutes and 29 seconds for Riley Nash, but looked a bit noticeable out there, I'd say. How much of an impact do you think that change had?
Oh, you know what? When you lose both games and, you know, in New York, you got to change something. I mean, Cooper said he wasn't going to stay till after warm-up. I mean, I feel bad for Cal Foote. He's played really well. Doesn't deserve to sit. But at the end of the day, you got to sit somebody. And you know what? Riley Nash came in there. He had a chance to score. So, you know what? He came in there, did what he had to do. But at the end of the day, you know, Cooper's move worked. You know what? At the end of the day, you know, we got the W, which is the most important thing. I think it was line combination matchups that Coop wanted most.
Ryan Bradley joining us here as we relive an incredible Game 3. Let's just underscore a little bit the magic of Nikita Kucherov. Talk about the pass to Palat and just in terms of, you know, gathering that puck from Stamkos and then finding Palat and putting it right on his tape with a little backhand pass. I guess that's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, you know what, JP, I mean, you know what? That play he did, he got the puck. It went around the boards, went back out. He got the puck from Hedman. He did a backhand pass. I don't even know how he saw him. I mean, you know what? There's not many guys, if there is any guy in the league that could do that pass. He's just got such great vision. And then for Palat to just shoot it in one motion and made a great shot to beat Sorokin, you know, just over his pad was a great shot. But you know what? Kucherov's just an amazing player. And you know what? It's good because I like what happened because not only did Palat score, but our big guns like Kucherov had 3 points. Stamkos had a goal and assist. They got confidence now.
Yeah.
They're playing well. They're starting to feel it. They're starting to, you know, hey, the Sorokin thing, that's over.
Yeah.
We've already beat him a few times. We won the game yesterday. Okay? We know what we need to do to beat this kid. So let's keep going there. And they got to just play like they did in the third period. But for Kucherov, that play was world class. It can be done by more than 2 or 3 players in the NHL. I mean, you're talking about Gretzky Lemieux type plays.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable to watch that play. And to watch it again in replay and watch it in slow motion, not even in game speed. God, Kucherov is unbelievable to watch.
Insane. By the way, looks like Cooper just ruled out Braden Point for Game 4. So we'll see if he can get back for Game 5. A couple of questions about the series. Now, you said this too back after the loss in Game 1 that, you know, the Lightning sitting out for 9 days. Clearly, they were rusty. They had 20. So what were the giveaway numbers? First game was 28, and then maybe 27, I think, in the second game.
It was 28.
Yeah, something like that, 28,
Yeah.
22.
28, 22, 50.
Yeah, and the Rangers had a lot of giveaways, too, in those first 2 games. They switched back to Amalie, where maybe the ice is better or whatever. I think the Lightning had 7 giveaways last night, or the Rangers had 7 and Lightning had 6. I mean, you're talking about a dramatic change in giveaways for both teams. Is it just the ice? Is it the lighting? Is what made it so different? Was it the rust for the Lightning, and now do the Lightning have an advantage because they had that 9 days off, and as the series goes on, the Rangers' legs get a little heavy, and maybe the Lightning's are a little bit more fresh.
Well, let's talk about the first one.
Okay.
Then we'll go to the second part of your question. There's, you know, the Rangers definitely forecheck very hard. John Glenn has those guys going in. they're forechecking our D. And sometimes it's mentally you make mistakes when the guys are forechecking that aggressively. And I mean, we made some bad plays in New York. But you know, that all comes from us not moving our feet. We're standing still. We're not doing anything. When we move our feet and make things happen, and, you know, don't turn the puck over in the neutral zone, we get it. We don't have a play. We get it in deep, and we just get our feet moving and just cycle the puck. We are deadly. I don't think there's a team better in the NHL. And you know, we got to keep doing the same way. So, yeah, the turnovers were bad in games 1 and 2, and that cost us. But they were great last night because we were playing Lightning hockey. And that's when we're moving and we're aggressive and, you know, we're using our speed and attack. That's when we're great. And the second part of the question, no question about it, the Rangers are going to tire out as the series goes along. You don't play game 7 and, you know, the Lightning game play game 4 and they sweep them, have 9 days off. It is definitely going to be a factor by game 4 and 5. You're going to start to see it tomorrow. They're going to start to wear down a little bit each game, and we're going to get better and better. So, no question. They can say whatever they want, but it's a true fact.
Love it.
I don't care what anybody says.
That's awesome. And just a little note on the fans yesterday. They were loud and they were fantastic. But at the end of the game, throwing the damn clappers onto the ice while our players are still out there, not to mention fans throwing them from the 5th floor, landing on fans in the bottom. I mean, and there were way too many Rangers fans in the building for my taste anyway, but it is what it is. Game 4, let's be a little smarter for our fans. We'll throw that out there.
Yeah, I agree, JP. You know what I mean? They don't need to throw that on the ice. You know what? It was a great game, a great win. And you know what? Looking forward to game 4 tomorrow. I just want the Bolts to just play like they left off in game 3, play the same way they did in third period, 19-6. If we play that way, the Rangers are going to be in trouble. Trust me. That's a tough team to beat. I don't care who we play.
All right, Brad. It's great stuff as always, my friend. You called it, and we'll see you there tomorrow night, 8 o'clock puck drop, and our fans will be loud and proud, and we're going to even this thing up. Cannot wait.
Sounds good, JP. Have a great day. Go Bolts.
Go Bolts. Yeah, this is setting up for, you know, and Brad has called this the whole way. I really think we saw the beginning of the Rangers tiring in that third period last night.
They did look like their legs kind of were losing it a little bit.
Yep.
They lost total grip of that game. And I'm trying to, John Cooper speaking as we're live here. So I'm trying to like decipher some of his quotes. And I think he said, I hope that, you know, that third period was the pin in their bubble. And that's kind of a great way to describe it, because that's really what it looked like.
Yeah.
I mean, they were very slow and plodding. They looked like the Lightning did at parts during game 1 and game 2 in regards to their pace and their speed. And Brian Bradley mentioned it there, and it's a great point. The Zibanejad, Kreider, Vetrano line, I believe. I think that's the 3 together there. 5v5 yesterday. I know they scored the 2 power play goals. 5v5. I mean,
nothing.
They gave them nothing. And
the Rangers, I'm trying to think of how many 5-on-5 goals they've scored in this series. I'll have to go back and look at it. I don't think many. But they've been a lot of power play goals. I know one goal they had was right after a penalty expired, so it's not officially a power play goal, but the pucks had not even left the zone, and they scored. I think it was a Zibanejad goal again. But no, and this is the same thing we said coming into the series. The Carolina, 2-1, danger chances, 5v5. Pittsburgh, more than 2-1, 122 to like 59 danger chances against the Rangers. I mean, those are significantly higher. I don't even think the Lightning have come close to that, but this is just it just goes to show that it's Shesterkin is their rock, and that's okay. I mean, Vasi has carried us to 2 cups, but I don't think with that kind of, I don't remember us being 2-1 disparity in terms of high danger chances with these other teams. I think the Lightning have for the most part owned that. So yeah, very, very odd. I think maybe it's because we're all listening to the national perspective and listening to the pregame shows and the postgame shows and the intermission reports, and it's all Rangers. So maybe we're being a little bit of we're getting brainwashed a little bit ourselves. Bottom line is, when you look at the analytics and the numbers, the Lightning have owned the 5-on-5 play in this series. Shesterkin has been a little bit better than Vasi. And let's see now that we'll have 2 games at home and 2 games on. Let's see how all those numbers add up in 4 games on each other's ice, because it seems to me that there's a lot of disparity. And a lot of it, I think, is because of the rust that the Lightning had, the 9 days off. I mean, I don't care what you do. If you've had any athletic prowess in your life, okay, and you take 9 days off, whether you're a runner, a walker, a basketball player, a golfer, whatever you do, tell me if you take 9 days off, when you come back, you're not nearly as good as you were. And especially in a game of hockey where, you know, 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters on a pass is the difference between connecting and not connecting.
I mean, listen, I'm probably the worst person to speak to about being Mr. Athlete over here. I try to be, but I take a lot of weeks off for golf all the time.
Yeah.
And I fool myself into thinking every time I go out there that I'm going to be better than I was before.
Yeah.
And you know what happens for the last year? I'm basically just stagnating
of
at
course.
one line.
Because you're not playing enough.
I'm not playing enough.
Right. Yeah.
So it's the same concept. And we talked about during the regular season, the Lightning had that, what was it, February, where they played maybe a handful of games?
6 games.
6 games,
Yeah.
maybe? Yeah. And they struggled.
Yeah.
They struggled mightily. And we were almost ready to hit the panic button at some point.
Yeah.
So clearly they're not a team that likes that. And the Rangers, I think it definitely coming off that high against Carolina, they were still on it.
Yeah.
And those 2 games at home as well. Getting those at home was key in that loud MSG arena, which they're going to get, they're going to get game 5 and game 7 there too. So the Lightning, you steal one here in game 4.
They got to learn how to play up there.
You got to learn how to play up there.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the Panthers. Who was their first round series against? And how many games did that go?
Washington, and it went 6.
They went 6 games, right? Yeah. So, and the Lightning, that rest is going to be key. But you got to, and they've kind of weathered the storm now in the first part of the series. Game 1 was not good. Game 2, I thought they were much better. Actually, even game 1, their first period and a half, they were good, and then they lost their legs.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
That's when the rust really showed, because they didn't have their game shape. And then I thought the third period of game 2, they owned. Of course, the Rangers had the lead. I thought they owned that, and then I thought they picked up right from the get-go yesterday and were the better team most of that game.
Well, it's the second period that's been the Lightning's downfall.
Yeah.
I mean, even yesterday, I thought the second period for the Lightning wasn't great. The game 2, I know see, this is where I disagree a little bit. Game 2, I know the analytics said the Lightning got the Rangers in that one. I don't know, but I did not feel good about that game at all. And I couldn't believe it in that game. And I know it happened on Friday. We didn't even get a chance to really talk about it. But I think the Rangers went 8 or 9 minutes, the end of the second period and early into the third, without a shot attempt.
Yeah.
And then Kucherov had the one bad turnovers advantage at scores. Vasilevsky not in position.
Right.
And there you go. It's 3-1. It was very frustrating. I still thought the Lightning did not play good in that game.
Yeah, but when you went back and looked at the analytics,
the analytics tell you that the Lightning played a pretty solid game and deserved to win. But it just really didn't feel that way.
I'm telling you, it's Shesterkin and the national media, because you're watching these shows and it's just like, oh, the Rangers are just owning the Lightning, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're not really.
Here's where I'll be very bipartisan here, is I kind of feel the same way you could say about the Florida Lightning series. I know that the Lightning swept the series.
I agree.
I know we came here saying this is the heart of a champion. This is Vasilevsky. That's great. I still thought the Panthers carried the play for large parts of that series.
Well, no, I mean, we said that there were 2 games. I can't remember exactly the ones where it's like they could have gone either way. Like those games, the Panthers hit a couple of posts.
The analytics back that up.
And the analytics back that up. But I would say in that series that Vasi stole it, and we also. But I think this is where people talk about experience and pedigree, and like, what is it? Like, how does it manifest itself? Like, connect those concepts to what happens on the ice. And to me, it's the closeout factor.
Yeah.
It's, the ability for the Lightning to keep going and keep going. You know how many teams quit yesterday, down 2-0 in that game, down 2-0 in the series and down 2-0. The Edmontons, the teams that are out, those are teams that quit. I'm going to say quit, but they take their foot off the gas a little because they lost hope. Whereas the Lightning have been in these situations so many times they know if we keep pushing, something's going to crack. And it happened with 40 seconds left yesterday. And that's the heart of a champ. That's experience. That's mental toughness to keep playing harder. And when you get stoned, you know what you do? You turn up the volume. You keep going. You keep going harder and harder and harder until the damn rock cracks. Keep pounding. And that's the mental toughness and experience. And we saw it in the Panther series in terms of guys taking pucks, 24 blocks in that one game. That demoralizes another team. It's like the Panthers must be going, these guys are bananas. They're nuts. They'll jump in front of any puck just to win it. Like, what? These people are crazy. No, that's what it takes.
Yeah, and you saw Hedman too, who I thought played his best game of the series so far yesterday.
He took a couple hard ones yesterday.
Early on.
Yep.
You remember that one, the 2-on-1?
Yep.
And he got his stick in the lane, just a great defensive play. And then like a minute later, a shot maybe 10 feet out from Vasilevsky, I'd say.
He's laying
on the
out.
left of him, and he's laying out. That's a Norris Trophy defenseman who's not a young cat by any means. That's going ice level to block that with his I think his shin, or he caught it on his leg somewhere.
Yeah.
It's what it takes.
Yeah.
And the Rangers did the same thing yesterday too. They blocked a lot of shots as well.
Yeah, they did.
So
I think they actually had more blocks than the Lightning did.
They did.
And Gaudreau, former Lightning player, 2 cup rings, was a reason why. I mean, he's the one that took that bad one and late in the game, and because he knows what it takes.
That's the first game, by the way, they've lost this postseason with Gaudreau in the lineup.
Yeah.
So impact.
Yeah. And
it takes players like that.
Yeah. And so that's when we talk about experience and laying it on the line, that's what we're talking about. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the Rays weekend, which was interesting on and off the field. And we're hearing a lot more of that today. We'll tell you why. Teddy Bruschi had something to say about Gronk, his good buddy, about him coming back. We'll share that with you next. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Italiano Insurance has been serving and working in our community for over 60 years, and it's not just about insuring all the pieces of your life. Italiano is as much a part of Tampa Bay as the Cuban sandwich, Gasparilla, and our Bucks, Lightning, and Rays. They're also active supporters of great charities like the Humane Society, Metropolitan Ministries, and local pediatric cancer centers. Hey, we all need insurance. So do business with a local company with a commitment to our community. Don't call some 1-800 number. Call Italiano and be greeted by one of your neighbors. That's 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com. Named the Small Business of the Year by the Tampa Chamber. 813-877-7799. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center in our second hour. Christopher Lugo works with the military, keeps them in tip-top shape. Our best pilots, he can do the same for you with cutting-edge techniques and philosophies. Modern medicine, that's why they call it Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Go to the website and get an appointment and tell them JP sent you. Testosterone replacement therapy, losing weight, getting your immune system back in line, all those things with modern medicine, cutting-edge techniques. You can find it right there. So if you're not happy with your primary care physician or just want a different perspective, a second opinion, why not make that change to Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, I want to get into a couple of stories here. Teddy Bruschi on Get Up this morning, good friend of Gronk, both the Arizona State guys, said, don't worry. Same thing we've been telling you, but get it from Teddy Bruschi. Don't worry. You talk to Gronk. He's coming back, and maybe right before training camp, might be a little into training camp, whatever. He'll be ready. He's coming back. Don't worry about it. And just so in case you need a little bit more reassurance about Gronk, there you go. I don't think anybody's surprised.
I wonder if Brady can give
breaking news.
I wonder if Brady can give us an update in his trademark underwear that he's selling.
Boy,
did you see that video?
I did.
This morning.
Can't unsee it. Nick walks in this morning, goes, "Hey, did you see Tom Brady's junk?" I'm like, "Huh? What? No, not yet. Don't want to. Do I have to look it up?" He's like, "No, he's doing his. He was modeling his underwear.
He wasn't even modeling. It looked like he got out of the shower or something. Like, and Giselle just was like, I guess now's a good time to film."
You don't think that was planned in any way? Hey, let's make it look like we're not showing Tom in our underwear, and he's surprised and somebody else is doing it. So here's what we'll do, Giselle. We want you to go into the bathroom and take a quick shot, and then he'll pretend like he doesn't want to be seen in his underwear. That's not, and then post it. If he didn't want it posted, it wouldn't be posted.
And he reposted it.
He reposted it. So don't. Come on.
Yeah, that was the first thing I saw this morning, and I literally had to wipe the cobwebs out of my eyes real quick. I was like, wait, what?
No, he's not naked, folks. He's in his little tidy boxer briefs there.
Brady brands.
Yeah, it's Brady brands.
I guess while I'm here, let me see how much those bad boys are.
Oh,
let
me guess. Let's do we're guessing point spreads.
I'm gonna go
the Brady underwear.
I'm gonna go $24.99 for one pair.
Okay, it's probably a pack of 3. So I'll say it's $39.99 for a pack of 3. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Look at the opener on the website.
That's not him, but it's two underwear models doing what they do. Yeah.
It says it's coming soon, so it has. I don't think it's. All right, it's $20 for one.
$20 for one pair?
You're a little off on your 3-pack. The 3-pack is $55.
What did I say? 40? I said $39.99. $55 for
a 5-pack is $85.
And just so you guys know that they're not magic underwear, they're not going to make your bulge bigger. Your bulge is still your bulge. But I don't know.
They're not going to give you superpowers.
I don't want to be talking about bulges on the show here, but it is what it is. He's putting it out there.
It's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady. He is a Bucs. He's property of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we are obliged to tell you everything that this man is doing. And it seems like he's in the news every single day for something.
Yes.
Which is this not the longest off season? I swear.
Yes.
Like it's in some ways it's going by quick because it's June. The last game the Bucs played was in January. But I feel like it's been nothing but nonstop stories with the Bucs off the field.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's just a product of having all these players in the public eye, and that's what comes with it. And I'm just still not used to it as a Bucs fan. But holy crap. I feel like this is like only been 3 months worth of how many Tom Brady stories do we have? They're just so crazy.
Every day. It's crazy. But it's, this is part of his branding, right? Every day it's most of it is about branding something. Right, it's his mostly his clothes branding, but this is the new Tommy. This is new Tommy. He's out there. He's pimping everything.
This was not Tommy in New England.
Post career Brady. My God,
it's going to be a trip
everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. I'm not ready. I'm not sure if I'm ready for all.
But if you're interested, folks, yes, go out of your way, I guess, to go. I don't know if I should even say that, go out of your way, but it's there if you want to see it is all I'll say.
Okay, so let's get to the Rays over the weekend. They blow a series to the White Sox. They're up 3-0 or 2-0 on Saturday, and the bullpen gives up a pinch hit 3-run bomb to Jake Berger. They lose that one 3-2. Then we have yesterday, Yarbrough goes out there as a starter and just gets absolutely bamboozled. 5 doubles he gives up, 6 runs in a couple of innings. And now the Rays make a spirited comeback. Paredes with another home run. Good to see. Arena, 2-run triples. Zunino, a 2-run homer. They get it to 6-5. But then the last 2 innings, 6 up and 6 down. Nothing. I guess Diaz got a single and got picked off. Which, I think the Rays lead the league in outs on the bases.
Yes, they did.
They lead the league in outs on the bases. At one point last week, they led the league in unearned runs. The base thing has always been a thing, I think, for the Rays, but the unearned runs, it's just too inconsistent for me right now. And I know their record is still pretty good, but I'm still very lukewarm on this team. Very lukewarm. I think they're on pace to win about 90 games. But now, of course, they've got guys waiting in the wings that can come in here and really help this team. Shane Baz being one of them.
Yeah. Yesterday, Shane Baz, his latest start, Durham, 4 1/3, 1 earned run given up, 10 strikeouts, and 79 pitches. I believe that's his 3rd or 4th start in Durham so far. I'm trying to figure out here when he is eligible to come off this IL, because every start he's had in Durham has been fantastic. And I know Ryan Yarbrough has had a pretty good start to the season, but yesterday, probably not what he needed to do with Shane Baz's return around the corner to keep his spot in the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I'd imagine that he'll probably bounce out of it now when Baz gets back here, because they definitely could use Baz's arm right now. So we'll keep an eye out for that, trying to figure out here. But in the meantime, it is definitely a big missed opportunity for the Rays this weekend, especially on Saturday.
Yeah, you have
to lock
get that
down.
one. You got to lock it down. So they lose that series. They got the Cardinals coming in tomorrow, which should be
a good team right now. That's
and well attended. The Cardinals fans will show up, no doubt about it. Had 12,000 yesterday at the Trop for the White Sox.
Yeah,
not a
but
bad crowd.
Again, Lightning playing at 3.
Yeah.
What can you really ask? Saturday looked like there was a good crowd there.
Yeah. That's it. When you go up against a Lightning playoff game, it is not going to be, you're not going to get a huge crowd, especially, last week, the Yankees obviously brought plenty of their fans, but yeah.
Oh, so Baz is eligible to be activated today.
Well, good. So he should make a start, on Friday?
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye out for that today if they activate him today. Something to keep an eye on there, but definitely glad to see him get back into the fold because he's been lights out in Durham for the Rays. But yeah, Cardinals coming in this weekend. Again, if you haven't been to a Rays game, that's a pretty good team. That's not a team you see every year playing good baseball right now. And also the Rays, you look at the quick update here on like the AL side of things. Obviously, the Yankees are running away with everything. They're
Right.
playing outstanding baseball.
Right.
But you can kind of already guess who the playoff teams are going to be. That's a good thing for the Rays. You're one of them. But the Red Sox are streaking. All of a sudden, now they're in a playoff spot. The Angels have lost 11 games in a row, JP. And they were 27 and 16 at one point.
Yeah.
That's a big help for the Rays that they've started to slide.
Yep.
So it's June now, and these series all matter. So the Rays really need to pick up a series win here against the Cardinals because the Red Sox are on their tail.
All right. So this is the off the field stuff that is absolutely. I'm looking at the TMZ Sports tweet for the Rays. When TMZ gets involved, folks, it's going to go national and international. So this weekend, as the TMZ put on their tweet, Tampa Bay Rays players refused to wear the gay pride logo on their uniforms this weekend, saying saying their religious beliefs wouldn't allow it, but also saying they accept everyone. So the comments on this, as you might imagine, have been very explicit and very caustic, but very divisive, very, very divisive. And, I think a lot of this story, it comes down to the details. The devil is in the details, no doubt about it. But it just reminds me, and I saw a lot of video over the weekend of people at pride parades, that were being accosted on both sides. And it's just become such a divisive issue again. Like how are we getting further down the line here and it becoming more divisive? That's what, and I think a lot of this is media driven. So much of it is media driven because I thought, we've been, it seems like decades for me that, being gay is not a thing. Like it's not a controversial thing at all. I mean, we have gay characters on I think it's on every sitcom. It's completely, it's accepted. I'm not saying there aren't people that are still, homophobic. Of course there are. You can find people against every race, creed, color, sexual preference, blah, 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 blah. But for the most part, I think it's very much part of certainly American lifestyle, no doubt about it. I mean, you look around the world, there's way more homophobia everywhere. I mean, as a former part of the Methodist church here, the Methodist church was completely split over it. There are a lot of religions and a lot of parts of religions that completely accept the gay lifestyle. It's not a thing. It certainly wasn't my church. It was not a thing. We had a lot of gay people that were baptized, married in our church here locally. It's not a thing. It's not been a thing. But for some in the religious, in some religions, or some people view homosexuality as something that is anti their religion. And that's, I think, what some of the Rays players expressed this week, and that they did not want to wear certain things promoting what they feel was promoting that, quote, lifestyle. And wherever you fall on this, and, for me, it's just like I said, it's never been a thing. Of course, it's like love everybody. God loves everybody. As far as I go, as far as I can see it, God loves everyone. And that includes whatever your sexual preference is, not a thing. But for some people it is. And that's where I think it came down on some of these race players who were getting crushed for saying that their religious beliefs that they had no problem with the gay lifestyle, or whatever they want to call it. Their words, not mine. And they love everybody, but they just did not want to promote it in that way. And everybody can believe what they believe, but for it to be this divisive and for these players to be singled out the way they were, I mean, I don't know. Did somebody go down and examine everybody's uniform to see who was wearing the patches and who was not, and make a list? And then Mark Topkin went and I guess asked for someone to be a spokesperson for the guys that were not wearing it. And they said what they said, but it's something that clearly, this is the second time in a week the Rays have been involved in what I would say are highly emotionalized political issues, where other teams seem to be avoiding this in a much more politically palatable way.
I guess like I don't see what the big deal. Like the Rays have been doing Pride Night for years.
Years. So have the Lightning.
I've been to Pride Night, I think, a handful of times.
Yes.
Like,
so have the Lightning.
Exactly. Like I think it's one of those things I don't understand why it's such a big deal to be made of. 100% respect what the players, I guess, did and said, because they're free to do what they want. Is it worth it? I think is more the question.
Is Pride Night worth it? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I mean,
I'm talking not Pride Night. I meant the players doing what they did. And
they're probably asking themselves that question
because,
right now.
Mean, you just know, like in the world we live in, you're going to have to answer for that. Right. Whether it's right or wrong, you're going to be forced to answer of it. And you have to be aware that your answer is going to be viewed as divisive either way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't even know if I put it on the Rays. I don't put it on the Rays at all because they've been doing this for years. No issue. And I think every team in baseball does it.
I think the Rays this year stepped it up with more things on the uniform. Instead of it being an organizational thing, they put a couple of patches on a patch on the uniform and a patch on the hat as well.
Yeah, I don't get the divisiveness of it at all, especially in 2022. The people that are out there, like you said, that are accosting people that are at rallies and with the pitchforks about
oh my God,
like
what are you doing?
Get over yourself.
And there's pushback from I think a lot of people. So I saw a lot of this online on this week as well. Is that take your kids to gay pride parades, and if you don't do that, you're a bigot. And that's where I think a lot of people are. And I think this is where Jason Adam is having a problem as well. Here's what he said. He said that they didn't want to do it for faith-based reasons. Quote, so it's a hard decision because ultimately we all said what we want is them to know that they are all welcome and loved. Somehow that's been lost in translation when he says that. Welcome and loved here. He adds, but when we put it on our bodies, okay, the patches, I think a lot of guys decided that it's just a lifestyle that maybe not that they look down on anybody or think differently. It's just that maybe we don't want to encourage it if we believe in Jesus, who encouraged us to live a lifestyle that would abstain from that behavior, just like Jesus encourages me as a heterosexual male to abstain from sex outside the confines of marriage. It's no different. It's an interesting perspective, actually. Adam concluded, it's not judgmental. It's not looking down. It's just what we believe the lifestyle he's encouraged us to live for our good, not to withhold. But again, we love these men and women. We care about them, and we want them to feel safe and welcome here. If you're intolerant of that message, but yet want everyone to be tolerant of everything you believe, I think a lot of people outside the LGBTQ community now feel like is it too much? Is it the more and more and more and more and more if you don't promote? Is there a difference between accepting it and promoting it? I think that's what Jason Adam is saying. It's like, as an organization, yeah, all good. But now if you put it on our uniforms, then, my kids are looking at me going out wearing that on my uniform and saying, okay, so you're telling me, Dad, that we're supporting this? I think it just, there needs to be a level, as there needs to be a level of tolerance on all sides of things, and let some people believe what they want to believe. And I don't think what Jason Adams said is that. I think it's a very middle of the road take. And what happens is, obviously people read the headlines and they just go bananas. They just go, oh, here's a bunch of, hating Christians that just, are disgusted with the gay lifestyle, and they're all on the Rays team. And they don't read the details. They don't read the things. I think if most people read it that are reasonable, they would say, okay, I get it. These particular people believe a certain thing. They're not hating on us. They're not, saying it's despicable. It's just a different opinion. And, and again, you're in a collective. Your team is putting this on. I think maybe the Rays should have had this discussion before they decided to put these special decals on, and then the way that you had a problem with the way that the story was written too, which I agree with you.
I just didn't want them to be singled out, I guess, because I think I read a lot of the comments after on the thread, and a lot of people, like Rays fans, were like, basically turning themselves against these players because of this. And it was, I guess, ironic that to a lot of people that the two guys who, I guess, blew the game that day were Brooks Raley and Jalen Beeks, who were two of the guys who took part in this. And a lot of
people connect that as well?
Yes. A lot of people did and said,
well, I mean,
that's
if
karma, I guess.
Is it karma, or is it these guys reading the stuff online and getting crushed and then going out there and not feeling themselves? Is that part of it? I mean, can you get that type of horrific backlash on social media and have it not affect you mentally?
I don't know. I just think it comes back to, like, regardless of how they feel, was it worth it?
Yeah.
I guess is the question.
Yeah.
And I think based on the reaction, I think we could probably answer that.
Well, here's an email I got from a guy that didn't want to put this on social media for fear of retribution, which I think is sad. He said, JP, the Rays' wokeness is proof they don't care about pissing off fans. Remember when they had Black Lives Matter signs? BLM is a radical Marxist organization behind riots and injuries to police throughout the country, as well as in Tampa. Anytime you take one extreme side, you are alienating at least 50% of the fan base. As far as the $35 million for a Pasco training complex, that money should not be provided by taxpayers outside of Pasco since it does not benefit them. Good for DeSantis, who is representing the best interest of Florida taxpayers. Moving spring training to Port Charlotte was Stu's mistake, so the cheap ass needs to pony up. So clearly there are a lot of Rays fans, and from judging from the tweets from fans, they're on both sides of this. And I don't see other baseball teams being embroiled in these same types of controversies. Do you?
I guess not. I mean, I don't go looking for them. I'll be honest with you. I
Yeah.
don't. Maybe some get through the cracks with me, but because it's in our backyard here, we see it.
Right.
But again, I didn't feel like I said last week when we talked about the gun violence statements. I had no problem with what the Rays did there. Commended them for it. I have no problem with what they did with Pride Night because they've been doing it for years, and I think I don't see the problem with it at all. But I think kind of the things that have happened are just, I think it's almost out of the Rays' hands, to be honest with you. That's the way I look at it.
Well, to me, I think they're dipping their toes in the water where maybe they don't need to. Maybe they're pushing the envelope. But listen, if this is Stu Sternberg's team, if he wants to be a politically active organization, then so be it. But you're going to, your players certainly paid the price for this, no doubt about it. And anytime, and here's the thing, what I explained there in those comments, I think if anybody reads through the whole story, they're going to have a very different opinion of what these players are trying to do, as opposed to just reading the headlines, right? Especially in our media. And what do 95% of the people do? They just read the headline. So you got to know going in that this is what's going to happen. You need to be a little bit more savvy in what you're doing. Or maybe, I mean, let's look at it this way. Maybe the owner who clearly has had an agenda to piss off fans. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. Maybe this is just an extension of that. I don't know. Because clearly none of this happens without the blessing of the owner. So, you could, if the owner, especially in this particular market, which is a very 50-50 market, in terms of politically, if you're going to take one side or against the other, then there's going to be a lot of pushback. There's no doubt about it. And I don't think, again, we can go back to the original premise here. Is it good to mix politics and sports? And I think we can all agree that's a big fat no. Because there's plenty of it other places. If you want to get involved in it and talk about it and listen to it, you can. But as many of you have expressed to us, it's not what you want. It's not what you want. But I think we had to spend some time talking about it because this is going to be a humongous you can see it on Twitter already. This is like Monday's Twitter thing. And pay attention how it's presented on the different websites too. I think that's another very interesting way to go about it. Right. Anything else we missed from today's wonderful show?
I was just going to point out because I'm talking about Brady Point here. I still don't think. I know I said Bradley said he thought he looked good. I didn't think he looked that great, to be honest.
Skating
doubtful.
today?
Here he is skating right here, and you could see this is him skating, and down he goes.
Yeah, I wonder.
He's happened to more than a few times here in his skates.
Yeah, I wonder if he had a setback from when Bradley saw him skate on Friday to where he is now.
I know I saw the video of him skating, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah.
And I just thought he couldn't turn well.
Yeah, it looked this video I saw on Friday looked a lot different than what we saw today and then today's video. So he may have had a setback as well. So, all right. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to like our YouTube page and subscribe on the YouTube page right there so you can watch it anytime, watch the playback anytime. Download our app, FanStream Sports, all one word, and you can listen to the show anytime. Just tap the app or go to the podcast section and listen to any past shows or interviews that you want to listen to. We're also on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well. Have a great day, everybody. Go Bolts. Talk to you tomorrow.